And I think I'm live. Can everybody confirm that you're able to hear me and all of that good stuff? StreamYard apparently crashed this time around. So I'm really starting to second guess this thought on computers. As you guys can see, my eyes aren't even directly on the camera tonight. That's because my laptop monitor from the last live stream, it broke. It broke mid live stream. Um, I see Georgianne saying I'm up, Mike giving me a 1. Everyone's giving me an okay, perfect, perfect. Thank you all. Um, I don't know. My luck the last couple months with computers just have not been going good. Um, as you guys know, during last week, middle of the live stream, my computer went black. And since then, my laptop, unfortunately, the screen no longer works. So during tonight's live stream, I have my laptop hooked up to a big monitor, and that way I can see all of your comments. I can click on it, all of that good stuff. I see Mike coming in with the question, how old is the laptop? So that's the strangest part. This laptop is literally brand new. I got it from a coworker here at the college who bought it, used it once to do some taxes and stuff like that. And then she was going to bring it back to Best Buy or try to sell it. And that's when all of my computer problems started. So she was able to give it to me. I'm very grateful for that. And I used it maybe 4 times, 5 times to do one live stream for you guys out on the road when I first got back. I was able to write my book. I put many hours in on that. And all of a sudden, last week, it just completely died. So, talking about the warranty, I did go back to my coworker and I asked about it. She does think it's under warranty, but she cannot find the paperwork for it. So she's doing a little bit more digging, and she's also just going to try to reach out to Best Buy to see if there's some way we can get this problem resolved. But for now, I have this extra monitor from my gaming PC that I originally use, and I got that trying to get fixed as well. I just brought it to someone and I said, hey, all of my stuff is digital, or online, it's safe. So push come to shove, factory reset it. I will install everything again. I don't care. I just need a genuinely good working laptop. So I see a couple people were in here. Georgianne earlier, Firefly, just Captain Jack. Thank you again for the raid. Welcome, everybody. For those who might have been a little confused, I do apologize. We had, between Captain Jack's live stream and this live stream, we had about a 10-minute video, a short video premiere, and it was me leaving the US. It was treated as a welcome video, I guess you can say. And we basically gave a tour of the first location we went to visit, Kobe Tough Bead and Leather. I just want to pull up Captain Jack's comment here. The FBI has your laptop under scrutiny due to the unusual amount of your tax return. There is something going on, you guys, because this is my 4th computer since March. The gaming PC just completely crashed. We tried to fix it, following some instructions and like a professional. They told me to put it in what's called safe mode, I guess. And all of a sudden, now it's stuck in safe mode and you can't do anything. So that's how the gaming PC went. Then I went to my really old laptop that I had on the road and all of that. It was a piece of junk when I originally bought it. I got it from Walmart on Black Friday sale. It was a piece of junk from the get-go. That ended up going. And then I'm starting to think, hopefully it's not some software or something that I'm using. I go and my dad had a laptop that he used the week before. No problem. It was just enough for me to get my final projects doing programming, or so we thought. I go over there, try to turn it on. Computer monitor wasn't working. It would power on, but the screen was completely black. And my dad was like, "What the heck? I literally used this not even a week ago." So then fast forward, we have this one brand new from Best Buy, only used once by my coworker. I get it. It works perfect. I'm writing my book. I'm halfway done with that book, by the way. Halfway done with that. And last week during the live stream, for some reason, it went black. Best of luck with that. If it was pricey laptop, might be worth replacing the screen. If it's not under warranty, if it's cheap enough to replace the screen. Absolutely, that is something I'm going to look into as well. I've never actually had to replace a screen. So I'm going to start looking into that. But at this point, I think you have a point. I might be jinxed. I see Lewis asking, did Kobe behave himself while I was gone? Lewis, while you were gone, I asked Captain Jack every single time, every day, every live stream, where's Lewis? Where's Lewis? I hope he's typing all his letters. I hope his punctuation is okay. Every day. Georgianne brings up a good point. Could it have to do with your electrical plugs? That is a good point, Georgianne. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm going to look into that because I do know there are issues with students every now and then and the outlets we have in the campus suites here. So very great idea there. So tonight's live stream, we're gonna talk about Kenya a little bit. We're gonna talk about Kobe's tough bead and leather, but we're also gonna talk shop. We're gonna be a little bit serious here, and we're gonna talk about my business. We're gonna talk about the stuff that's been happening behind the scenes, because since I got back from Kenya, you guys have heard me say a couple times now, time and time again through the last couple live streams, that I've been making big moves, giant moves in the background, and I wasn't ready to share them publicly yet. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Starting out, I want to point out, I showed you guys all my souvenirs except one. It wasn't until I started editing this week's video that I remembered they gave me a clay rhino while I was over there visiting Kobe Tough Beads and Leather. So not super detailed, but still a really cool and unique item. And they just gave it to me absolutely free. And this is obviously where my wallet came from. That says Kobe Tough. The collar, the leash, my belt, all of it came from this shop. And I just want to pull up. I'm not going to be able to read your comments here for a minute. I have the main website open here, and I just want to read to you guys a little bit about the business and what their goals are, because you'll see why all of a sudden spending $300 to me didn't seem as big of a deal. It was a great business to help and support. And unfortunately, I just was not rolling the GoPro when we first got there, and she was explaining all of this to us. And actually, I'm not able to see your comments now. I'll look back after I get through this here. But I actually learned something new here. The word Kobe, K-O-B-E. I never knew this. Kobe is the Swahili word for the Africa sea turtle, a beautiful sea creature with a hard external shell. We believe that Kobe represents both the amazing beauty and the toughness of the African savanna. So that was a really cool fact for me to learn, having that name, having it spelled the same way. Because obviously I was named after Kobe Bryant. For those who don't know, Kobe Bryant was actually named after Kobe beef in Japan. So even that was a cool story, but I also thought it was a bit cheesy. I don't know. There's something about this that I just really, really like. I thought it was a very interesting fact to learn. Um, so the business started off making bead. We They started bead making as a direct response to the devastating effects of climate change among the Maasai. So later on, you guys are going to have a video from me where I go and visit the Maasai village, and basically they are a nomadic tribe in Kenya, one of the most popular in one of the most popular tribes in the world. Um, and they have been hit really hard with some negative effects from climate change, which manifested a very long drought. And as a result, the drought ended up wiping out entire herds of cattle, which is their entire livelihood and their only means of survival. With the devastation, communities were unable to send their children to school, which, reminder, costs for public school, it costs them 700 US dollars every year per child minimum. That is more money than they typically make within a year. So communities were unable to send their children to school, and the obsession to restock declining herds had forced many families to marry their daughters in order to get more cows and replenish their herds and preserve their wealth and status of the family. This is the crisis that led the business to be made and for them to intervene. Through their work, over 400 Maasai women throughout 4 different groups were able to be provided a much needed livelihood and support. They were able to keep girls in school and reduce incidences of female genitalia mutilation, which is a whole different rabbit hole. For those interested, it is definitely something I don't want to say interesting to look into. Um, it's a very inhumane process. Um, it's also abbreviated FGM, and it's a very sad thing. So they help reduce incidences of that, and they have been upscaling the traditional beading skills of the Maasai women to help them make products that are of high standards and are both relevant and acceptable to a wider audience. They now have the first ever Maasai beaded Apple Watch, which like a wristwatch, um, and it's all ethically made following fair trade principles. The business also makes belts, bracelets, collars, and other beaded products, and their work is to provide the support and the platform for these amazing women to amplify their work. Then in 2020, as we were working with the Maasai women, COVID-19 broke out with devastating effects on the job market. A group of over 300 women, mostly single mothers, orphans, and widows, who had been working with the business and making ceramic beads in Nairobi, were laid off as tourism plunged. Most of these women have still not been able to return to work. We responded to this situation by establishing a ceramic beading division that helps these women cope with the COVID-19 crisis. This has provided a lifeline for them to hang on to, and we not only pay these women fair wages, but we also pay them higher than any of their previous wages. Right now, as of my trip, summer of 2024, they currently employ 29 of these women and are hoping to bring back all of them. So that was a very great business, I thought, to support and really, spend a little bit of money. So scrolling back up, I see everyone's kind of commenting with some emojis, just leaving the meaning of Jack alone. I have to bow out. Ranger finally showed up. Okay, adios, Captain. Best of luck and thank you for the raid as always. I see Mike saying also possibility there is a way to get the screen into external mode / internal mode. Look for a thing that looks like two screens, typically F8. Try after the stream pressing with that function key. That is a good idea. I think I'm doing something similar to that right now to get this live stream running. See everybody saying bye to Captain Jack. Lewis and Rebecca have to go. Thank you guys for tuning in. Yes, so that is about their business. It really made a big impact to me that my money was not going to some billion-dollar corporation. It was actually going to people that were genuinely going to benefit off of it. And just, it's kind of sad. Like $700 to go to public school, $700 US. My items collectively take years to be made, and I paid half a year of school through them. So when you really take in stuff like that, this was the business where I was like, okay, I don't care. These souvenirs are going to be amazing to have, and the money's really going to make a difference. So I saw Lewis, he's heading out, but I saw on the video premiere too, he was asking about Kenya dishes. Unfortunately, Lewis, as you watch this later on, or if you still happen to be in chat and catch this right now, I did not get to try a lot of traditional Kenya foods, so I can't really attest to that. The foods I did have were pretty much all buffets for breakfast, lunch, and dinner provided by the hotels and the lodges, and they were absolutely outstanding. But, I mean, we're talking 5-star hotels and lodges and like the best of the best. So at that point, I would really hope the accommodations have really good food. So then transitioning now from the Colby Tough beads and leather. Nancy, yes, great comparison. It's a good cause, kind of like Girl Scouts. Absolutely great comparison there, Nancy. So transitioning now to my business, talking shop here. As you guys can see, I have started to print off some photography gear, and I will actually start selling these any day now. I ended up ordering one canvas, a couple 8x10 prints here, and I'm starting to put watermarks on everything. Just a second. I want to pull up these photos so you guys can see them. Hopefully these show up all right. And I'll probably post these in a community post as well. But those are my 8x10 prints that are framed. And then I got the canvas. You guys can see that behind me. This is my favorite. I ordered 5 metal prints And oh my God, you guys, the way the colors pop off of these metal prints is just absolutely remarkable. The photos don't even fully do it justice. The colors pop so well. The way it shines in that sunlight kind of deal. Absolutely amazing and very, very detailed. Thank you, Georgianne. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't wait. This is a dream I've been having since I first started on the road. Heck, a dream I've had even before it. Really just wanting to be an artist and do photography and write a book and so much stuff. It is crazy because right now, it's like I am in, I don't know, a prime. I don't want to say I'm in my prime, but it certainly feels like that. We're talking not even just stuff from like this job. We're talking 4 or 5 years worth of stuff that I have been working towards is finally reaching the points that I have dreamt of this entire time. I see Mike asking, what software are you using as far as editing and doing the watermark? Also, do you shoot in JPG or RAW? So typically, it'll depend on the software. I don't manually do anything for the photos. So this time around, I brought 1 terabyte worth of storage. On this trip, I had so many SD cards, so many USB sticks that it was 1 terabyte worth of storage. So my main ones on this trip were my 2 GoPros, a Polaroid camera, my Samsung S23 or 22, one of the newest Samsung Galaxy phones out there. And a pair, 2 GoPro, phone, Polaroid, and a pair of binoculars that also had a camera built into it. So that was all of my equipment that I came in this case. And it was kind of funny in this case because, as you guys probably saw in the highlights from Kenya video, there were elephants that crossed the road right in front of our vehicle. That was these elephants. So imagine me sitting in a Jeep and all of a sudden to our right, this is our view. I had to quickly jump up, turn around, take a picture, just enough time to capture this. They immediately walked in front of the vehicle. So I start recording off of my phone and the GoPro. And then I immediately switch. And that is when I got the photo of, hold on, bear with me. That is when I got this photo, which is much darker because of the lighting here. It wasn't hitting the metal the greatest. But the photo with the mom and the dad and the baby with Mount Kilimanjaro in the background, that is what the elephants, they crossed the road from the sunset and then were immediately on our left. And these were the last elephants in the herd. So the fact that I timed everything just right and was able to get that shot and this shot, so proud. Still kind of mind boggled by this opportunity, and also the fact that I got video of the elephants walking right in front of us. So then, talking about software, when it comes to editing and doing the watermark, honestly, for the watermarks, I was really, really struggling for a while. So what I ended up doing is I went to Canva, and for free, you can kind of do a watermark in there. So I just typed heading, living the dream. So it was nice, big, bold. And then I do transparency to about 30%, because I do hate the fact that you guys have to see these photos with the watermarks on it. But over the past week, I did a lot of networking, reaching out to local artists, talking to photographers I know, researching online, and it was the best decision for me and my business. So I went on Facebook, I went everywhere, deleted the photos, made them private, and now I'm putting the watermarks on there and promoting them that way. And when it comes to editing, believe it or not, most of these photos, no editing. So the baby elephant photo, no editing in that at all. I have not touched that, nor am I going to. It is perfect. Don't want to mess with it. This picture here, I love it on the metal. Again, the photo just does not do justice. The metal, the bronze, like the wood bronze from the tree really pops and stands out behind the metal background. And the sky is like a purplish silver blue mix. And it is just absolutely breathtaking. And this is the last. Let me show you guys this one. This is the metal print of the elephants. So the camera's taking a hard time adjusting, but as you can see, it's very bright compared to the canvas behind me. So I don't know if I'll keep ordering these. Honestly, seeing it hung up behind me or alongside of me, I'm really starting to fall in love with it. But the last couple days, I've kind of been looking at it, and I was not a fan because I thought the colors compared to the metal were a lot more dull. In some cases, it's going to crop the photos off. Like there's a couple elephants around the corner here. Not as big of a deal with this shot, but the baby elephant, I can't do that. There was a couple shots I wouldn't be able to do on canvas. I see Georgianne saying she would have loved to get to see the elephants and witness that. It truly, dare I say, no, I can't. I was going to say the biggest highlight of the trip, but no. It was definitely one of, but the fact that it wasn't even the best part of the trip, that's how you know it was a good trip at this point. See, it was good. It was good. I see Linda saying nice and good job. I see Mike saying the photos look great, nice. Thank you all. I can't wait to get these started. This is the last photo I had printed for now, just to get it started and start promoting it. I obviously got to get this stuff listed for sale somewhere, somehow. But a favorite of mine, the mom and the baby playing in the grass. I absolutely love the photo. So I had to get a metal print of that one just to see what it looked like. And again, showing you guys on my phone, like the photos already aren't the greatest. It just doesn't do it justice. The metal prints. Oh, I wish you guys could see them in person. The colors are just so remarkable. But yeah, I'm mind boggled here. I can't believe this is all kind of coming true at this point. Really? Did you just press your bedtime button? It is not even 7 o'clock yet. Don't sigh. Don't huff and puff at me, mister. If you want to go to bed, you can go to bed. Don't get sassy. Darktable is a free and open source photography application, open source software very similar to Adobe Lightroom, or Adobe offers a student discount price on their software. You can do the watermark and everything right in the application. So that is part of the problem, I guess, with me having all these computer issues is right before, like maybe a month before, not even, I used the student discount through Adobe that Mike's talking about, and it was still like a couple $100, I think. I paid for a year subscription of the entire Adobe package, and it had stuff for displaying t-shirts, like marketing photos. You could have someone wearing your t-shirt and stuff like that. It had the AI tool that Nate has mentioned. It had editing for videos. It had editing for photos. It was perfect in every way, shape, or form. I mean, the video stuff, it was a little kind of complex for me since I've since I've done everything on my phone over the years. But it was so nice to have, and then it's like, oh no. Thank you, Mike. It is what it is. But it definitely, I'm like, come on. But like I said too, a majority of these photos, I am not editing in any way, shape, or form. I think I did edit the one with the 3 elephants in the mountain. I wanted the grass to kind of contrast a little bit like it did in person. It just, the colors really, like in person, popped more. I don't know how to else describe it besides pop, but the contrast was better. So I went on Instagram, which I've always loved editing photos on there. I always thought that was a cool, easy, free tool. And I did edit that one on there very slightly. So every now and then I try to use that. I see Mike saying that Adobe Premiere is a bit of a learning curve for video. It was definitely, like, I don't know if I'd go back to it. I hate to say it, but I just might lose out on my money at this point, even if the computer is fixed, because now I'm using CapCut for free on my phone. And with all of these issues on computers, I'm really starting to lean towards, you know what, let's say, screw it. Let's stick with just the phone again. Less stuff to worry about. And the fact that when I'm traveling, majority of my photos and videos are right on this phone, or it's on a GoPro or something that goes right on this phone very easy, versus hooking the phone up to a computer and transferring all the stuff and then editing. Now, I don't miss that part of the process. I don't. That is why, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but the highlights of Kenya video, I have watched that video about a dozen times, and I think I made a post sharing it again at one point, and I just said that it is my favorite video of all time, like officially, because the editing was not hard to do. It did not take me all day to do it. It was really fun to edit. It's really fun for me to watch, because after having 500 videos posted on this channel, I practically don't rewatch anything. I get so sick of editing and hearing my voice over and over again that once I post a video, I never rewatch it. I never watch it. But the 2 exceptions to that are my live stream from Germany. Every now and then I'll sit down and I watch as the clock strikes midnight. And the other one is this highlights from Kenya, just getting to see all of this stuff. The music, even though it's copyrighted, I love it. It is perfect. And that is why I don't necessarily care about monetization on YouTube anymore, because it's videos like that I want to make. It's just so perfect in every way. I love it. And then when YouTube comes in and it's like, well, you can't do that. You need to use something that's not copyrighted. Well, the music doesn't fit just as good. It's harder to find, like, that video, even though it's copyrighted, even though I'll never make money off of it, as of right now, it is my favorite video. Do you have a DSLR camera? I do not. My uncle used to. I don't know if he still does. He was going to let me use it and try to start learning more about that, but I used it maybe once or twice, and that was that. At that point, we kind of came back to Michigan. I got the job and settled down, and we went from there. You really are tired, huh? You're just going to pass out right alongside me. Oh, the poor baby. You get so sassy when you're ready for bedtime and I don't come in the bedroom. You get so sassy. Yes, so that is one of the big things behind the scenes here that has been happening. So for those that are curious, lots of the stuff comes in boxes. I'm going to Walgreens, kind of printing stuff there. Same day, more or less, you get the stuff within 24 hours. That's what a lot of photographers do, I guess. So I went there, printed some stuff off, tried it out, fell in love with the metal prints, kind of falling in love with the canvas now. It's not as bad as I thought it was. But the thing I'm trying to say here is that everything came in a box, except for the 8x10 prints in an envelope. Everything came in a box, and that is a game changer for me because I was like, I can sell them locally at a craft fair and stuff, but I want to be able to ship them, especially if anyone here wants to buy anything. I would love to be able to ship it out to you guys. And the fact that Walgreens, they come in small boxes, I got to figure out how much it's going to cost to ship. But I'm guessing it's not going to cost that much. It's like perfect icing on the cake, problem solved here. Mike is saying most times it's a claim and majority will do sharing revenue. I've only run into having a mute a few times when using copyright music. Good to know. It's like, and after having the Zach Zobiak videos blow up on my channel, it wasn't until those were hitting like hundreds of thousands of views that all of a sudden it was like, now it's a problem. So when I'm getting 100 views or a couple hundred views on my videos and my live streams, like it's not bad. I don't think I'm going to have much of an issue. With Walgreens or Walmart, I can't remember what it's called offhand. I had a form on file with them to prevent others from. Ooh, thank you, Mike. That is a really, really good thing to know. Because that was part of this. I even questioned if I should have this hung up on the screen here. Because somebody said, what if someone screenshots it and prints it off and tries to start selling your stuff? So theoretically, in full honesty, I probably shouldn't have this hanging up right now. But, I mean, I'm not going to try to be paranoid about it. And I always kind of said that if someone were that desperate to get my photography or anything for that matter, it's kind of a compliment. And I really think and hope that here on the YouTube channel, if you're watching this, especially live stream, I know not many people do. I feel like most people would actually just pay for it because they would want to support me as a creator, support like my business, all of that. Well, the quality of the photo, if they were to try and print a screenshot, would be really bad. That is another good point, Mike. I did kind of think about that the other day because I downloaded something off of Facebook, I think, or something. Oh, no, the wheels for the video premiere. it was on my work phone and I sent it to my personal phone so I could put in the video, and they were so blurry and I'm like, wow, like that's just, but it worked. It worked for the video. But yeah, if you're going to try to sell stuff, yeah, no. So I guess that is right. I have that going for me. Somebody's getting very sassy here, guys. He's getting very moody. Yeah, he's getting very moody. Oh, are you trying to give me your paw? 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 Not your face, your paw. Good boy. Good boy. Somebody's moody because he's ready for bed and I'm not listening. So for those curious, here is what I'm kind of thinking right now. Based off of other photographers, sorry to tie up chat with this talk. No, thank you, Mike. I definitely appreciate it. And it always makes the live streams better when I have some engagement going in the chat. So for those curious, here's what I'm kind of thinking. After talking to some local artists, some local, or not some local, but some photographers I know, after going to some other places and seeing what photography sells for, after researching online, this is what I've come up with. Most likely my 4x6 framed photos, I will sell that for $25. For the 8x10 framed photos, I would sell them for $50. For the canvas, the 11x14, which you're seeing here, I will sell that for $100. And the metal prints, I will be selling those for $150. And this week, it's not official yet, but I did have someone tell me they were going to buy a metal print at some point. They are just trying to figure out which one they would like to do between the baby elephant and the ones with the elephants with the mountain in the background. They're like me. They can't make up their mind about which one's better, but they want to order one of the metal prints. So that's really great. I see Mike saying, I've done photography for many years now, so when it is brought up, I'm more than willing to talk about. Ooh, Mike, good to know. That is really good to know. I might be getting in touch with you. I'm learning here. I'm trying to, I joked the other day. I was like, what do they say? Rub elbows? Because I was just trying to meet some local photographers because I've been dreaming of this for so long. And now I feel like I have some photography that, like, if I do this right and I find the right people, I think I can make some sales. So I'm really, really excited about it and trying to learn as much as I can. So we do have the one metal print that's going to be selling. And then, as you guys know, I met with someone who was going to paint some of my photography. We met last Thursday, and before we knew it, our meeting lasted 4 hours long. And basically, after the 4 hours, she couldn't make up her mind on what she wanted to paint. She loved all of the photos. I really went through and I took 200 of my best photos from the entire trip, and she just wasn't sure what she wanted to paint yet. So she's going to continue to look over some, and then come September, we're going to meet again. We are going to actually do a one-on-one painting of this. She is going to teach me how to paint this picture step by step. And I am going to paint it completely by myself. Like, she normally in her classes, she will paint one with you. She's just going to walk me through it step by step, and I'm going to paint it. So it will be a one-of-a-kind, custom-made painting of this photo right here. And I cannot wait for that. With that, when it comes time for that, she is going to sit down, and she said she'll pick out a couple different photos, and we are discussing anywhere from $50 to $100 per digital photo. I will sell her the digital photo, and then she will use that to make her paintings. And on the painting, she is going to label something along the lines of photographed by Kobe Lorendo. And this is a huge painter, a huge artist in our local area. She has her stuff in art galleries. Like, she is a really big deal locally. So just having that on, like, photographed by Kobe Lorendo, having that on a painting that's potentially going to be hung up in an art gallery, and like, just, again, mind-boggling, you guys, mind-boggling. We're talking years upon years. We're talking outside of like my dream of going to outer space. We're talking like one of my earliest dreams to be an artist, and all of this stuff from my second book of being halfway done, and I'm so excited, and it's just flowing so naturally. And I'm even enjoying the hiccups where I get writer's block and all of that. It's just so awesome. Yesterday, another big thing here. Well, before I get going here, I want to read this. I am on Facebook. Most of my work is on there from the past personal page as well. Ooh, okay, good to go. Good to know, Mike. Thank you. So the other big thing here, the other stuff that is happening behind the scenes, and some of you are probably thinking like, oh my God, like there's more. There's more. How is there more? Well, hold on just a second. Look up a site called Fine Art America. Possibly could do some stuff on that. People can go there to order prints, and it would be done all. Ooh, thank you, Mike. Yeah, I've heard of a couple. Like, I knew there was some out there, but I didn't know what any of them were called. So that's really great to know. That would very much help me instead of going to Walgreens, having it printed, create a shipping label, go to the post. It'd be much easier if I could do it through a third party that I knew was going to be good. So I'll definitely check that out. The other big thing, though, that has been happening in the background is eBay. So I don't know how many of you know, but I resell on eBay. It's kind of how I did most of my stuff on the road for the first time. I mean, after all, I lived on the road for 9 months with the school bus, full time, without a job. I resold on eBay. So when I was bringing Rocky down to the boarding shelter the day before I left for Kenya, I was driving down, and all of a sudden I see two signs, and I went in the morning. This is actually an important note, because normally I drop him off in the afternoon around 6 p.m. Instead, I went in the morning around 9 a.m. About 10 miles away from the boarding shelter, I see a couple vehicles lined up, and I go, what's going on? Why are these vehicles on the parked on the side of the highway? And then all of a sudden, I see two signs, and it says, estate auction happening today. Oh, no way. So I don't know if I've ever shared this story on YouTube, but part of the reason part of the way I bought my bus was by going to an estate auction, my very first one ever here in Ironwood. And I bought a bunch of stuff and resold it on eBay and made $3,400. I ended up buying the school bus for $3,500. And then later on, after going through breakdowns and trying to get back up on my feet again, I was doing eBay from stuff I would find in Arizona, collectibles and stuff like that. But there was a problem. We were in the middle of March. We were about to drive across the country to get back to Michigan. I did not have the money to pay for the diesel to get across the country. So I ended up cracking down on eBay, and I made a very hard decision. I really wanted to keep it, but I had an Apollo 11 50th anniversary collectible. And what it was actual metal off of the Apollo 11 that landed on the moon with Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. And it had a 1/4 ounce gold coin with a certificate of authenticity. And this set, only 50 of them in the entire planet exist. Of that, I could not find any except one other coin online, and there was no price attached to it. I ended up buying that coin for $17.50. And the week before I had to leave for Michigan, not having the diesel money to get across the country, I sold that coin for $2,000. So you can imagine my excitement when I'm driving past these signs and see that it's an estate auction. I quickly dropped Rocky off, went back to the auction just in time for it to start. And there I spent all day in the pouring rain bidding on items. I just want to take a pause here. Mike says, yeah, that gets expensive after a while with printing. Exactly. Yes, exactly. So I'm out there in the pouring rain. This is the second auction I've ever been to, but now I have the money to back myself up. That first auction, like I said, I made $3,400. I had only spent $250. And of that $3,400, that also does not include that Apollo 11 collector's item I sold later on for $2,000. So I essentially made $5,000 profit off of $250, because that is all the money I had to me at the time that was flexible. So this time I was like, oh, I'm going all in. I'm ready. I'm bringing my A game. Let's go. Second auction, I have to remind you guys of this again. Second auction I've ever done in my life. The first one in the state of Wisconsin. The other one was in the state of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I have built a reputation for myself already. In the morning, I earned myself the nickname of the Silent Ninja, because you will not find me, you will not see me, you will not hear from me until an item pops up that I want. And when that happens, I will be front and center, the main attraction. I will be getting everybody's attention. And then when the item sells, usually to me, I will again disappear. And then come the afternoon, I earned myself another nickname known as the Bull. So I ended up getting a bunch of stuff, and they were saying if you mess with the Bull, you'll get the horns. There were people that were like, nope, I'm not dealing with this. I know better. I'm not going up against him. All of this stuff, I ended up spending $1,300. And I have not done the math yet, but I basically ended up making some money, and I didn't want to share that with you guys until the stuff like inventory was kind of gone, until everything was good. So now that it is, when I got back from Kenya, within the first day and a half of being back from Kenya, I had made $1,500 to $2,000, I think it was. And basically, overall, the money I got from that auction ended up paying off Machu Picchu. It paid off my drone and a large chunk of the Kenya trip, which, that was not expecting that. I thought maybe it would pay off Machu Picchu at most, but that is what it did. So huge power moves there. There are a couple items still that if you go on YouTube, for anyone interested in maybe, I think the only stuff I have left is a couple vintage video games from like the 70s, 80s, like the first ever ColecoVision, TurboGrafx 16, the first ever video game consoles at home. I still have a couple games, and I think that's it. But if you go on eBay and type in "Living the Dream," just like here on YouTube, and search for a profile, that is my profile. I sell the collectibles there. I sell my book there. And the reason I also mention this is because right now I have a decision making here, a decision I have to make. Come November, my website expires. And last year, I was going to let it expire. I was not going to pay for another year. Unfortunately, I did not catch it soon enough, and I was charged $450 for an additional year. I haven't made a single sale. What a waste of money. So, what I am thinking moving forward is starting as soon as I get this stuff listed, the photography. Even though my website doesn't expire until November, I think all gears are going to shift, and I will have my Patreon, I will have the YouTube, and I will have eBay all under Living the Dream. And on my eBay, I will sell my first book. Come spring, I will sell my second book. I am working on a photography book that I'll probably publish in the spring, as well as maybe another book. We will see. My photography, the canvas, the metal prints, that's all probably going to be listed on eBay as well. So that is going to be the main store for Living the Dream. Mike is saying, I used to do some resale on eBay many years ago, but I haven't done anything since I downsized to my little trailer. It's hard to keep stock in 60 square feet and still live. Hey, don't blame you there. That is something that I actually got into an argument with another nomad at one point over, because they like to go to Goodwill and look at every single thing. They would Google or eBay it on their phone. They would look at every single item. And I was just talking to somebody else that recently was with them, and I guess they have a big death pile is what they were calling it, of stuff that just has never sold. And as a nomad, I was like, there is two things you need. One, something that is going to make you a decent amount of money, because you know you're going to get charged fees and taxes. So you need something that's going to make you a little bit of money. And then the second most important thing, reselling on eBay as a nomad, it needs to have a quick turnaround. Even myself, only looking at select items and having done it for years, after 9 months of being on the road, I had a decent death pile myself in the bus. And eventually we had a garage sale. I got pretty much rid of everything because I sold it dirt cheap. I figured I was in the profit already. Let's get rid of the inventory. And then on the last day of the garage sale, I just said, make an offer. So I did that. And then anything else that was left over, I just donated to our local thrift store again. And I think a lot of people that actually do eBay full time, that is what they do. They try to go to flea markets and yard sales, garage sales, stuff like that. They do them every so often so they can get rid of inventory that's not selling, just get it out of there. So that is a lot of what is happening behind the scenes here. I see that we are over the hour already at 7:15. So I appreciate all of you sticking with me. I'm having a lot of fun talking about business just because, again, this is something I have dreamed of for so long. And it is really some of my biggest dreams in life almost coming 100% true. We're so close. We're nearly there. So big things. And I can't wait for the second book to come out. I can't wait, you guys. Mind-boggling. The post office, the lady at the post office actually made a comment yesterday because she's like, it seems like you come here every day after 4 p.m. And I laughed and I was like, well, I've got a routine. I go to work. I wake up at 6:30. I go to work from 7:30 to 4:30 or somewhere, or 7:30 to 4. And then from 4, I go to the post office. I mail my eBay stuff. And then after that, I come back to the college and I do my YouTube channel. I do photography. I focus on my business. And oh my God, you guys, it is just the greatest feeling in the world. Truly the greatest feeling. Have Nate pass my info along. Would love to connect and discuss more about the photography. Yes, thank you, Mike. I will definitely reach out to Nate for that. I can't wait. There is actually a photography, not festival, but like an event going alongside a festival. It's going to happen next Wednesday. So I'm hoping it's free admissions. You get to learn from some of the local photographers. Again, I just can't wait to meet them, learn more from them. Like, oh, I just giddy with excitement, you guys. Giddy with excitement. So I'm trying to think here. Do I keep going for a little bit longer or do we wrap it up because we're at our hour time slot? I really wanted to talk to you guys about a camper tonight. And if you guys want, I'll talk about it a little bit. Otherwise, we can wrap it up and maybe we save the camper talk for next week. I know most of you know that I went to look at a camper last week and it didn't work out. So I was kind of going to talk about that tonight, but man, the hour went by really quick. I don't think anyone else is going live after me, so that's not as big of a deal. Just give you guys a minute here. Let me know. Do you guys want to know about the camper or should we save it for next week's live stream? What are your guys' thoughts? Mike, that is exactly what I'm doing. Be a pain in the butt, be annoying, ask many questions, pick their brains. They will either get sick of you or be willing to share their knowledge. I am so giddy with excitement. I am so happy to be finally in living the dream. I am asking questions. I am connecting with people. I am loving every part of it. And I just told somebody at the college, I'm like, this is my community. This is where I belong. I've always kind of been the oddball out, but this artistic community, whether it's painting or YouTube or photography, it's weird, but I feel at home in a way with my people. It's weird, but Nancy is saying sure. Linda's saying either way. Mike's saying let's keep chatting. She Devil Adventures either works for me. So let's keep the ball rolling here a little bit. And let's talk about the camper. So last week I ended up finding a camper. down by Oshkosh, Wisconsin, for those who know where that is. It is about a 4.5 hour one-way drive from my location in Ironwood, Michigan, which is right on the border of Michigan and Wisconsin. So I ended up finding this camper and I sent it to my dad. My dad thought it was garbage right out the gate, but he's been sending me some really weird listings. My uncle, who is the nomad, still is a nomad. I sent it to him. He fell in love with it. He thought just like this works perfect. They were asking $5,000 originally a month ago. I think it was about a month ago. But they dropped it to $4,000 because it hadn't sold. And their reasoning behind that was because there was 3 pop-outs to this camper. Let me actually see if I could pull this up on the screen here. I might even have it saved. Just a second. Bear with me, everybody. I will show you pictures of what the camper looks like. It's a 2006 Starcraft travel trailer, and it has 3 fabric pop-outs on it. So there's one on the front, one on the back, and one on the sides. On the inside, the furniture looks a little outdated, but you have a couch, and that is where I was planning to sleep. I do have a nice mattress to replace the couch with, but I would sleep there. I would most likely get rid of one of the booth seats to make an area for Rocky. And then a big thing for me, it had a fridge and a freezer that ran off of propane, but it also had a propane oven. Those are 2 really big deals to me. And there's the pop-outs in the back. The flooring and everything looked pretty great. But the issues were, there's the bathroom. So nice bathroom. Stove, AC, heat, everything works. Everything works. The issues are that all the fabric pop-outs have holes in them. So that kind of sucks for someone that would use those. But I really didn't think I was going to use those at all. If I was able to keep one and, a guest flies over, I figured I'd have it. But it no biggie. I didn't plan on having the fabric pop-outs. And the only other issue that you could see based off of the photos and her description was that the awning had never been open in 2 years, so that's probably no good as well. Again, no biggie. I'm never going to use an awning. I see Mike asking, have you looked at auction sites? Ooh, that is a genius idea. Why have I not looked at auction sites? Seriously, why have I not? I am honestly kind of surprised that I never thought of. Mike, you are just full of knowledge today. You are just making my night. Linda's saying, a travel trailer. Keep shopping for a deal, maybe something newer. Definitely agree. I have been looking at dealerships too. But as we kind of talked on Captain Jack's live stream a little bit, dealerships can be a little funky with their warranties. And most of the dealerships I'm seeing, they're about 2 hours away. And driving even that far is going to be a little bit tricky because starting pretty much this week, I have to stay within 15 minutes of the college, more or less, because people are going to start moving in and we're getting back into the swing of things already, unfortunately. So, as much as I hate to say it, the fact is my summer is done. Um, it is what it is. That comes with the job. But the dealerships, even that are 2 hours away, I'm looking at campers and they're about 23 feet long. I have no experience. Well, I have very, very little experience towing a camper or towing anything for that matter. I towed a boat, very lightweight, about 30 miles one day. And I also towed a very lightweight camper, maybe about 2,500 pounds, 19 feet. I did travel from here to Wausau about 2.5 hours, towing that on an interstate. But even then, it's not like interstate, like most of you probably think of. It's more of like a highway, not very heavy traffic. And that's really all my experience. So I'm a little scared when it comes to a 23-foot travel trailer, because at that point, between the vehicle and the travel trailer, you're looking at like upper 30, 40 feet, stuff like that. That's how I got the bus. That's how I actually got my bus too, which is part of why I'm being very kind of picky with this. I will catch up on the comments here, but this really good transition here. The reason I said no to the camper, for those who don't know, is we got there and right out the gate, we noticed that the tires probably would not make the 4.5 hour drive back. Already not a great thing. So then we go inside, and literally exactly the back half of the vehicle, the roof had waves. You can very clearly see that water was getting in there. And she said, "Oh, I bought it like that. It's not leaking, I swear." Blah, 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 blah. My uncle ends up leaving, the nomadic uncle. He came with me to look at it in person. He gave me his thoughts. And it was like, I saw it, my eyes got big, and that's when he saw it too. And he was like, "Oh, holy hell." Kind of, oh no, water damage is not good at all. We kind of had the same reaction at the same exact time. So seeing my uncle with that same reaction, I knew, like, no, I already knew, but now seeing that, like icing on the cake, definitely, not manageable, not dealing with it. I've seen other nomads that have to gut their campers, their travel trailers, and rebuild them. I don't want to do that. I don't have the time, the knowledge, money. I don't want to. I want something move-in ready. So when it came time, going back to the comment about the bus, I bought my bus from Marketplace, and at the time I was being like in a position that was really desperate. I knew I needed new tires, I needed a new blinker, and that was it. So I remember saying, I think I can make this work. I think I'll make do. So I settled. And next thing you know, I was broke down in 2 weeks in New Mexico over Christmas and New Year's Eve, or New Year's Day even. So when it came to this camper, she's trying to talk me. "Oh, it's been like that for 2 years, 3 years. I bought it like that. It's not leaking. I promise. I swear." I just told her, "Look, I used to camp in a bus every now and then during the summers, and when I bought it, I thought there was these couple things that weren't problems currently. They could be later on, so I can make do with it, stuff like that." And I told her, honestly, I have PTSD from buying that bus, because next thing I knew, I ended up breaking down with it, ended up having all these problems, and I didn't have the time, money, or knowledge to fix them. and I just can't go through that again, is what I told her. So I said, I'm sorry. I know you took time off work to be here to show me this camper, but I'm sorry. I just cannot buy it from you. And I ended up leaving. And honestly, I wasn't too bummed out. It was what it was. I didn't go into it with my hopes up or anything. I wanted to keep an open mind in case this exact situation happened. So I wasn't too disappointed, but at the same time, later on, I started getting back pain, stuff like that. I was really exhausted driving in the dark. Then I started getting a little bit crabby. Linda's bringing up a good point. When people went nuts and bought campers during COVID, maybe some are going to start selling now. I have noticed that, Linda, the prices of campers are going down in price a little bit, but it is also a very high market, high demand. So I've seen a lot of campers too, and I'm trying to explain to people that are like sending me campers that it's also not just the fact of finding a good one that I know is going to work for Rocky and I. It's also trying to beat everyone to it, because there was one that was perfect for me maybe about a month ago at this point. I would have bought it hands down if it was perfect like it seemed. And literally, I messaged the guy. It was just listed on Facebook. It literally said just listed. Messaged the guy. Sorry, something's already pending. Half an hour later, he marked it as sold already. And I've seen many, many listings like that. And this is something that I have been looking since January. So I've been seeing quite a bit of that. Mike was saying up above this comment that I could find some really good deals. Exactly my thoughts. And then here he's saying, or have you thought about buying a used flatbed trailer and building up from there, or look into a cargo trailer to convert? I have thought about it, but at this point, I can't afford it. I just need to be patient. So I want a travel trailer, and that's kind of why I wasn't too disappointed when I said no on this one too, because I knew better at this point. And I also, like I was kind of saying with the photography and all of this, my dreams are like so close to fully becoming true that it's almost like, okay, what's waiting a little bit longer? What's a little bit more of hard work? What's a little bit more sacrifice? You are this close. I told my uncle, I'm like, what's the saying? You could almost taste it. I'm like, I am so close to perfecting this cake. Do not screw up the frosting. That is my idea to my life right now. Mike is mentioning easier it is to back. The shorter the trailer, the harder because of turn point. That is something that I actually did not know. So he's not here in the chat tonight, but if he watches this later on, I just want to say thank you again, because I really appreciate it. But Nate, I always kind of feel a little bit bad. I try not to drive him nuts. I don't want to bother him, but every now and then I'll send him some questions. And I did ask him about the length, explained how I have little to no experience. And he brought up that point. So that was a very good point to know, and something very interesting. Linda is saying you need something your SUV can pull. That is another thing. My SUV can pull up to 5,000 feet, but obviously 5,000 feet. Jesus Christ, that would be long. 5,000 pounds is what my SUV can pull. I thought that was a lot until I started looking at campers, and then I realized just how little that actually is. There is definitely a lot out there, like light campers, that do fit within that category very easily. So not necessarily a problem, but I do have some people every now and then that send me like a 26-foot, 30-foot camper that's 5,000 plus pounds, and it's like, no, that's not. I can't do that. Um, scrolling. Oh, I always love when I manage to fall behind chat a little bit. Um, like saying the same 5,000 feet, hell of a party pad. I actually just got a good family member of mine, um, also a drummer, talking about a party pad is where this is coming from. He's a drummer. I sold my drum set to help buy the bus, live the lifestyle, etc., etc. It's something that was a cherished item of mine, very near and dear to my heart, but I sacrificed it and gave it up to chase my dreams. And it's something I desperately miss. He actually gave me some great news today. He has a custom drum set that folds within a travel suitcase. Um, we're talking like old school, not like the hardcover that you put on planes and the modern. We're talking like an old school briefcase almost. Um, he has a custom drum set that fits inside of that, and he told me that I can have it. There are a couple things that I have to fix on it, but I'm so excited to have that because it fits with the nomad lifestyle, and it's again just everything coming together, everything coming full circle. Oh my gosh. Um, let's see. Majority of the time, cargo trailers are built to last much longer than your manufactured campers. That is correct. I didn't know that. With a cargo trailer, you have a blank canvas to make it the way you want and not a lot of funky angles, etc. Also true. The biggest thing with that is that's kind of why I bought the bus originally. And after not even just having the bad taste in my mouth from the problems, customizing it, while it's really cool, and I give props to anyone like the other nomads and just anyone who's ever converted anything, bus, cargo, like trailers, that anything, major respect, major props from me. I think it is a really fascinating idea. I think it would be really, really fun to go through that journey, and once it's all done, be like, this is what I did. But I also said, I'm at a point now where eventually I can't wait to get out on the road with a nice cargo trailer and be like, look what I did. This. Karma, what goes out comes back 3 times. Absolutely. So far, I am not having any issues, but sometimes I wish I had gone the cargo trailer route. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, there's pros and cons to each that I've learned from living in my caravan to living in the school bus to knowing people like Nate or my uncle who have vehicles and pull a travel trailer. There's definitely pros and cons to each, but I'm just gonna keep my eye out right now, and that's the plan. Is a cargo or not cargo? I keep saying cargo now. A travel trailer, a nice camper, something about 18 feet long, dry weight of 3,500 or so. We'll see. But that's happening in the background too. Lots and lots of research on school buses. So I think I'm going to wrap the live stream up here now. That is mainly what I wanted to tell you guys about that stuff. Just a lot of very big moves being made. The photography, I've been eyeballing this throughout the live stream, and I'm starting to love it more and more. Actually, it's not bad. I can't wait to get that stuff listed and start selling it as well. And I'm actually looking into doing a craft fair in October, which, if it is, it'll be my first craft fair with my photography. So fingers crossed there. I am very, very excited. I see, let's see. Congratulations, Colby. All of your news sounds exciting. I thought about a bus, just didn't want to deal with the curves and angles. I like square corners. Oh, Mike, having done some of my work on the bus, I understand why you like square corners, and I totally do myself now. I just, no weird curves and angles. I very much would like to stick with square corners if I had to. Yes, congrats, Kobe. Thank you all. Thank you for staying with me for an hour and a half. Thank you for actually longer than that. We had the video premiere, we had the live stream. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for the support as always. Thank you to Captain Jack for the raid. Big things. I want to take a little bit of a break from our Kenya talk to share all of this with you, because I am, again, just giddy with excitement, mind-boggling, big things. So until next week, I was going to give you guys a little bit of teaser on what next week is going to be, but I honestly don't remember what next week is going to be. So just make sure you tune in after Captain Jack next week, and I will have some kind of content related to Kenya. So peace out, Nancy. Looking forward to chatting more. Absolutely same here. Have a great night, everyone. And as they say in Kenya, Kaheri. Bye. Everyone have a great night.